Alright guys, this is a real quick little video of a few things I've picked up over here in the last couple of weeks. These probably averaged anywhere from a quarter to 50 cents a piece. So kind of proud of what I found here. We have Amazing Adventures number 27, War of the Worlds. War of the Worlds with Killraven there. Based on the H.G. Wells concept there, 1974. And I'm trying to see who did the art, because he's famous. P. Craig Russell. Yeah, I think that's a Jim Starlin cover. Alright, had to pick this up. What if number 37? What if the Beast and the Thing continued to mutate with a third story? What if the Silver Surfer lost the power cosmic? So, really interesting little story here. Tom DeFalco wrote the first one. Black Goliath is in this. Captain America. You know. Okay. And finally found some of these. Started looking for these for a fellow subscriber here who's trying to collect a G.I. Joe collection. So when I found some, I scarfed them up. They're in rough shape, but they're just really hard to find. I used to remember seeing G.I. Joe comics everywhere. And that's like up to about 2 or 3 years ago, and then they just dried up. So we have 61. It's a Mike Zeck cover. Number 70. 89. That's kind of a lame cover. Number 90. Number 97. And now we're here to Classic Illustrated, The Island of Dr. Moreau by Steve Grant and Eric Vincent. A little bit of a glare on there. Okay. Alright, now these right here, and keep the glare off, is a series by PC Comics, I think around 83, Vanguard Illustrated. And what they are is like it's a bit of an anthology series. Each one has about 3 or 4 little short stories. 2 or 3 of them will carry over through the series. And you have people like, you know, Tom Yeats and Steve Assett doing this cover, I believe. Might just be a Tom Yeats. And on the inside you have things by like Steve Rude. It's an awesome cover. It's very frameable. Number 2, Dave Stevens, Rocketeer fame. There we go. Number 3, the great Al Williams Williamson does this cover. He is, you know, it's what's bad is he's kind of remembered now because of the time in the 80s he inked Daredevil. Before that, this guy's been influential since like, you know, the 50s and stuff. He did the Flash Gordon. He did the great Star Wars adaptations of the original trilogy for Marvel. A lot of that got reprinted by Dark Horse in the 90s. You know, he just did the cover. I was real disappointed. I had this already, but, you know, came with the set. Alright, this is a Steve Rude cover. Put blonde hair on that kid and you got Commandy, I'm telling you. Got a fork in his shoe. I'm not sure what's up with that. And a great Mike Kaluta cover. Vanguard number 5. Alright, Negative Burn. This is the last one of this I'm ever going to buy. Issue 40 by Caliber Comics. What they do is they set you up. They have all these great names in here to get you to buy it. And you get in here, there's people like Steve Yao. And I got it because it had Brian Boland and some of the most cartoony work Brian Boland has ever done. Big thumbs down on this one. So, alright, this is probably one of the most it's probably the greatest Neil Adams creation that you've never heard of. Armor. This is number 3. I should be real close to having the issues I want. This is from his Continuity Comics. It's a silver streak. And these came out real sporadically. This is like in 87. And I want to say the first issue might have started in 85. So here we have number 3. Definitely may do a video on this. But what's cool about this guy is that every piece of his armor turns into a weapon. Probably about, you know, everything, even the little plates on the side of his helmet, everything up to here. And he's got a robotic arm. He's got a jeweled eye, and he knows a they were abducted by aliens. He and his brother were, and for some reason they decided to teach him a martial art. So he knows an alien martial art. I just think that's one of the best looks that I've ever seen on a, come out of that continuity comics. Alright, nothing. Fire from Heaven #1. It's an Alan Moore written issue. This may be the only one I'm missing that Moore wrote. I'm starting to pick up more Image books, which really surprises me. Pitt #10. So, who can pass that up? So, great cover. Timmy going wild. It's a big turtle theme going on around here. Savage Dragon crosses over with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Okay, it's also a flip book. Vanguard #0. In case you've ever thought you found it and didn't realize it. Okay, I finally get to read some of this. Lone Wolf and Cub. This book is praised by Frank Miller, just a whole bunch of guys. Frank Miller's being the biggest one. He did a few covers for him, which I may have here. But it's a Japanese comic brought over here called Lone Wolf and Cub. And I finally get to read a couple. I have 24. 25, which looks like it may have a Miller cover, but I'm not 100% sure, so I won't. Looks like a Sinkovich, maybe. I don't know. Okay. 26. And the whole concept that I know about Lone Wolf and Cub is that this is some sort of samurai, ex-samurai, maybe a Ronin. I don't know what, I don't really know. I haven't got to flip through him. And he has a little baby that he pushes around in a buggy as he's going around feudal Japan or something. So, kind of look it up, just to give you a heads up. Okay, these are the ones I'm not sure I should have bought, but they were so cheap. And I've got like the first 20, I got all the Jeff Johns issues, which was like 0 to 26, #1 to 26. Crossed over with Justice Society back in the day when Jeff Johns was writing that. So we have Hawkman, written by Justin Gray and Palmiotti. They're a great team. Number 46, number 47, number 48, Andy Kubert cover, Adam Kubert cover, Andy Kubert cover, both did it. So this is Batista. I wonder if that's who I think it is. I think this is running into the Rand Thanagar War. So, okay. And then it pops up to 1 year later with number 50, Walt Simonson, Howard Chaykin. Walt Simonson writing, Howard Chaykin doing the art. So I figured why not. Number 51, Howard Chaykin continued to draw. And then it jumps up to 64 with Walt Simonson and some guy I've never heard of. Walt Simonson doing the covers. Well, Hot Girl in Metropolis, so that could be good. Number 65, The Final Face-Off. That should be interesting. And number 66, which I believe is the last issue. Okay. Now, here was the real score. This is what I was really happy to find. May not be a big deal. I haven't looked up to see if these are worth anything or not. But they had a mini-series by Neil Gaiman come out in the early 90s. And it had a character named Timothy Hunter. Okay? Now, put a scar on that kid and you got Harry Potter. So I was always real touchy about this whole Harry Potter thing happening when there was the Books of Magic. And this is number 1. Now, all of these are Charles Vess covers. And Charles Vess actually lives less than an hour from here. So these came out in 94. So these covers were done in a place called Abingdon, Virginia. More than likely he has a studio in Abingdon, Virginia that you drive by and see. So it's number 1. And after the miniseries, this was a series, which I kind of passed up back in the day. And now I've already read the first issue, and this is an ongoing series that continued from the miniseries, the further adventures of possibly the greatest magician ever, Timothy Hunter. First issue was awesome. Number 2. And if you ever meet Charles Vess, do not refer to him as a comic book illustrator. He will, or a comic book artist. He will correct you and say he is a fantasy illustrator. It's number 2. circulator off there. Number 3, not a Charles Vess cover. Number 4, a Charles Vess cover, and this is the one that got me all excited because that's Death from the Sandman in the Endless, and it looks like it's the characters from the fantasy award-winning Sandman number 19. A little bit of a reunion there. So that's number 4, and this thing is in excellent condition. They actually boarded this one. Number 5. Number 6. Looks like the book just kind of gets a little darker. These were not bagged or boarded. That's Charles Vess cover, number 7. Number 8, Charles Vess cover. Number 9. Looks like it's a whole new story, Artificial Heart 1. Charles Vess, number 2. I kind of dig that cover. We have Timothy Hunter and a little pose there, which I hope is not symbolic. Number 11, conclusion of the 3-part story, Charles Vess, 1994. And number 12, so I have the first year of the books, and they're actually pretty smart because this is part 1 of 2. I need to find number 13 and see if this is something I want to pursue. But that is a beautiful cover. Alright guys, probably will do one more video if things work out, and before Christmas that is. So comment, subscribe, tell me what you think. Anybody read Books of Magic, let me know. Alright, later.